Mode is forever.
Here we go. Remember, when I pause, you indicate which way you want the story to go, and I'll respond accordingly. Now, keep in mind, usually there's music, I have costume and stuff, but okay, here we go. There once was a child who went to the forest.
Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Play Mode. And now we're a child who is in the forest. If you've forgotten what happened last time, we met this storyteller who offered to tell us his interactive story that he made for children's parties, children's plays. The way it works is he starts telling a story and the children indicate whether they want positive, negative, or neutral things to happen. So we play the part of the kids in this story. Where this story is going to go, what kind of story it is, well, that's what we have to find out now. All we know is that we're a kid, and we are in the forest. So, do we want good, bad, or neutral things to happen while in the forest? Well, the chat felt that they wanted to be neutral for right now. We just started the story. We really don't know anything about it. So, let's just not interfere and see where things go. So we gave it some blue.
He passed through the forest and came to the sea.
Okay, so since we were neutral in the forest, we passed through without incident. Neither good nor bad things happened there. We're done with the forest now, and we're at the sea. What happened at the sea? Well, the chat decided they wanted something good to happen at the sea. So we went with green.
He went for a ride on a silver blue dolphin.
This kid's having a great day so far. I mean, I don't know who he is, where he came from, or where he's going. We really have no objective. But he's riding a dolphin, and that's more than we'll ever get to do. So, could this kid's day be getting any better? Well, the chat at this point, I guess, thought that maybe things seemed a bit too good for our protagonist, because they decided they wanted something bad to happen while on the silver blue dolphin. But what could possibly go wrong riding a silver blue dolphin in the middle of the sea?
The dolphin transformed into hundreds of serpents.
Oh no! That's about the worst thing that could have possibly have happened. You made a dolphin friend, he turned out he's some kind of magic shapeshifter. Turned into snakes, and now we're being attacked by snakes in the middle of the ocean. Things went real bad real fast for our kid. So yeah, red does mean pretty bad. The chat thought that the kid could use some help, considering he's currently drowning in the water while simultaneously being bitten to death by snakes. So we went with some green.
It changed once again and became a magician.
Okay, so maybe this is the true form of the dolphin. Maybe the magician just likes taking the form of animals to lure in unsuspecting children. Apparently we are still in the middle of the sea. I guess we're struggling to keep our heads above water, as the magician, I would imagine, is standing on the water looking down at us. We picked green, and this was the good thing that happened, but is the magician good or evil? That's for us to decide, and the chat decided they wanted the magician to be evil. So let's go with red.
The magician was evil, and to darkness he sent him.
Right, evil. That's what he was. He sent us down into the darkness, so I guess some kind of underwater place, or maybe he teleported the kid. Don't really know, but we're in a dark area. What might happen while in the darkness? The chat decided that they were going to stay neutral about this. What's going to happen in the darkness if we don't get involved?
Escaping the cave, he got back to the forest.
The kid does seem pretty capable when we don't get involved. If we don't do anything, he just is able to get out of the situation without much trouble, it seems. Alright, so we originally were in the forest, then we came to the sea, then we went out into the sea on the dolphin, then the magician sent us to a cave. We came out of the cave back in the forest. So we did a U-turn and we're back where we started, back at the beginning of the story. The chat, maybe forgetting that they chose blue the first time, decided that they were going to go blue on the forest again. Which means
He passed through the forest and came to the sea.
It means we came to the sea again. So what's going to happen back at the sea? Well, we know what happens if we chose green, but the chat decided that they wanted to give that dolphin another shot. What would that dolphin have done if he didn't turn on us? Where would we have gone? So let's go with green.
He went for a ride on a silver blue dolphin.
Back on the dolphin again. We knew that would happen. So, where is our dolphin friend going to take us now? We're going with green to see what the best possible outcome to that could have been.
It swam upriver to the Tower of the Elves.
So it went up a river, and now we're at some kind of elf tower, a new location. I guess we're no longer on the dolphin now. We're on land, looking up at this tower. But what about the elves? Are they people we want to meet? Are they friends? The chat decided that no. Perhaps these are evil elves. I guess evil elves are cooler, so let's go with red.
The elves took him prisoner and put him in chains.
Yes, so we're not in a cave, not beset by a magician, but we are now a prisoner, enchained in a tower by elves for who knows what. The chat, I guess, decided that they wanted to see just how bad this could go for our protagonist, so they decided that they were going to go with red while being a prisoner.
But he slipped from his bonds and fled to the forest.
Okay, so I'm not sure how that's read, because isn't that a good thing that the kid was able to escape from his captors? But okay, so now we have to think about how this works. We were in the forest, then out of the forest we went to the sea, then we traveled across the sea up a river to the tower, and then when we left the tower we were back in the forest. So I'm a little puzzled about how the geography for this story is going. Regardless, we're back at the beginning once again. So another chance for our hero about, well, we don't actually know where he's going or what he's doing. But he's back at the beginning once again. Maybe this is some kind of Groundhogish Day nightmare where he keeps having to repeat this over and over. Alright, so while in the forest, this time the chat decided that they wanted to go with red and see what bad things might happen when in the forest.
The forest was dark, and wolves were about.
Okay, we're being hunted by wolves. That's pretty bad. I don't know if it's quite as bad as being drowned and poisoned by serpents, but it's not good. The chat decided that maybe they wanted the wolves to tear the kid apart, so they went with red on wolves. They're heartless, aren't they?
He huddled in fear in a cave in the dark.
He's back in a cave. Is it the same cave that the magician sent us to? The chat decided that they were going to go with blue while in the cave.
Escaping the cave, he got back to the forest.
Yes, the cave that the kid was hiding in was the same cave as what the magician sent us to. And now we're back at the beginning once again. It seems that all of our choices just lead us back to the beginning in some kind of cyclical story. I would imagine that the entertainer, the storyteller here, probably gets paid by the hour at children's parties. So he developed a story that no matter what the kids do, they always end up back at the beginning. Alright, so we started once again. The chat decided that they had enough of the forest. They didn't want to have anything to do with the forest anymore. They just wanted to advance and get through this. So we went with blue, which we know is going to take us to the sea.
He passed through the forest and came to the sea.
So far, we've noticed that when we choose blue at a location, nothing really happens and the kid just passes by. So the chat decided that they wanted to go with blue at the sea in order to just go right through it and see what might come next.
At the edge of the sea was a beautiful castle.
All right. A new location. This is not the Elf Tower, but this is a castle. We haven't seen it before. but I guess the chat decided that they just wanted to keep on going, just wanted to power right on through to get to the end of the story and get back to the mode event. I mean, we're missing the party, right? So they went with blue at the castle. Just walk right by it. Just ignore it.
And there, in the glade, was the Tower of the Elves.
Okay, back at the Elf Tower. I guess on our first time there, we missed the castle. Maybe when we rode on the dolphin on the river, maybe that just went right by the castle. The chat decided that, yeah, we wanted to go with blue at the tower. Just walk right by it. Don't give ourselves the opportunity to be captured by elves. Just walk right past it.
He passed through the forest and came to the sea.
And we're back at the sea. So going all blue did nothing. That just led us right back to the sea. So we seem to be caught in some kind of endless loop. The chat kind of wanted to stop the story at this point. They wanted us to maybe just walk out, just leave, but no. No, we started this, and we are going to get an ending. And there are endings. So, we were not going to leave. We were going to continue on and beat the storyteller at his game and find an ending to this story. So, while back at the sea, we went with green again.
He went for a ride on a silver-blue dolphin.
We knew about that. We also know what happens if we chose red, and I guess the chat wanted to explore that option. So we went with red once again to bring on the serpents.
The dolphin transformed into hundreds of serpents.
I just noticed he said hundreds. That is a lot of serpents. That is a lot. Alright, so now we're being drowned and poisoned and bitten by serpents again. I think we chose green the last time, which made the serpents turn into a magician. But what happens when we go with red, and the serpents have their way?
They seized him and took him to their undersea world.
Okay, the serpents they have some kind of undersea world. I guess the serpents can breathe underwater, and I guess the kid can also breathe underwater as well because he does not seem to be in danger of drowning. Maybe the snake's venom that has no doubt been injected into him at this point, maybe that is keeping him able to breathe somehow in some kind of fairy tale way. So, okay, being attacked by certain serpents, being kidnapped to their undersea world, the chat decided that they want to just pass right by the undersea world. They were not curious at all about what might be in here, so they're going to go with blue.
He escaped to the surface and swam to a castle.
Okay, back to the castle. So the castle is accessible by water. I guess the dolphin just did not want to swim by the castle. But you can get there by water, and that's where we're now. So what happens here? Is this a good place or a bad place? The chat decided that this was a location that we had not actually explored. So let's go with green and see what might be waiting for us in the castle.
There lived the princess of beauty profound.
Okay, so is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, the chat decided that they really wanted to end the story at this point. They did not want to take the chance of somehow repeating this once again. And the princess does seem like the end point of a fairy tale, so they went with green.
And he stayed there in joy till the end of his days.
And that's it. We got to the end of the story. It took a lot longer in real time during the chat, during the stream, but we finally made it to an ending. It's not the only ending, because I have gotten another one when I was trying it myself. But this was the ending the chat got, and it was a happy one. And much like the actual game of mode, it doesn't seem like you can actually get to an ending just by clicking one choice over and over, as we saw with blue. That just led back to the beginning. You do have to have a bit more nuance in your choice. But we got a happy ending. Hooray.
Alright, you found an ending. It's nice. You want to try it again?
The chat was quite emphatic that no, they did not want to try it again. We got through the story once, and we probably will never do it again. So we went with red.
Oh, certainement. Listen, I'm with you on that. I'm about to leave this place. Why don't we just go and do some dancing?
All right, do we want to dance with the storyteller? I mean, this is probably the person that we've gotten to know the best so far in the entire game. The chat did want to go dancing. I guess just to get out of this backstage area and back to the party where the action is happening. All right, we're having a good time on the dance floor at the mode event with our first-person dancing viewpoint. The chat did approve of the dancing. They did like this. So we went with green.
You've got me very excited right now. I hope I'm not being rude, but the truth is, I would really want to make love to you right now.
All right, that's obviously where this was heading. And the chat was really into this. They could not wait to say yes to this proposition.
Come on in. This is a private dressing room. Nobody will disturb us. Hot.
Yes, that's usually what I do when I'm feeling kind of warm. I do take out an ice cube, lick it, and start rubbing it all over my face. What, don't you do that? I thought everyone did that. The chat was only being more positive and more positive about where this was heading. So maybe we will have more luck with the storyteller than we did with Mia back in the sauna. So they went with green.
Shh.
That is quite an earlobe. So we are having a tender moment with the storyteller. Because, of course, nothing gets us quite as hot as listening to an interactive child story and then dancing. And then probably taking a lot of drugs. Seems like the kind of party where that would be happening. The chat was very happy about this development. About all of the heat and the passion and the tenderness that was happening at hand at the mode event. So they went with green.
Just hold on.
As the background music goes. Right, so, hey, we finally scored at mode. Probably was not who with most of the people in the chat was thinking of, but, I mean, any way we can get it, I guess. And the chat wanted to go with green on this one.
Hey, it was sure nice to be with you. Actually, I hope I'll see you around. My play tonight. Well, it's very late, and I suspect the party is being long gone. I have to get some sleep. I hate to just leave you like that, but sure, you'll be fine. Well, I'll see you around.
But we never even found out his name. Well, I guess that happens when you're such a desirable sex object as 25 goons in the chat room are. I guess that's the sort of lifestyle you lead. And, well, yeah, that's it for the storyteller. And we won't be seeing him again, I suppose, because he's left. He's gone. I guess we should get back to the party. You did say something about it being long over, though. And how about that? There's no one here. The music's off. Partygoers are gone. No one's at the stage. The performances are over. Vito's left too. Reporter's gone. I guess we never got her the information she wanted about that cult. Yeah. Looks like the mode machines are turned off. We can't access them. The dance floor is empty. There are no small video windows of people dancing to click on. It's all over. We missed it. And that's kind of an interesting thing about mode. Anyone out here? No. There are multiple endings to the mode event. And one of those endings is that we can miss the ending. Yeah. It happened without us. It kind of seems that we're not actually the main character to mode. Rather, it seems more like Vito is the main character, because the whole point of the mode event is leading up to his final performance at the end of the party. And he went on with that, regardless of whether or not we were there to watch it. That didn't matter at all. So the result was that we saw nothing. We missed the climax of the mode event.
Revis has steadfastly refused all requests for an interview, but has magnanimously allowed our camera to record his performance, which, if previous years are any indication, could very well prove to be the biggest surprise in an evening full of surprises. Let's watch.
So we do get a video of Charity covering the final performance. For some reason, though, we don't actually see it. It doesn't play. I mean, if we go back, it's just this again.
Revis has steadfastly refused all...
Right. So, what was the final performance? What was it that this was leading to? Why did everyone have to have domes during the final performance? What was Vito talking about when he was talking about techno stuff to Ed? We don't know, because we missed all of it. Good going. So like I said, there are a number of endings to mode. It is very much a choose-your-own-adventure book, where most of the endings will be, well, I should say, I guess you'll get a different ending each time, most of the time. And trying to get to any one particular ending is not the easiest thing. So if we wanted to see what Vito's final performance was going to be, we would have to have avoided spending time with that storyteller. And if we wanted to affect what the final performance was, we could have done that as well. There is a way that we can actually have an effect on the proceedings, but we didn't have it this time. So as far as this party crasher goes, as far as the story of this protagonist who is being controlled by 25 people in the chat room, this is how this story ended. It's not the only story that you can get in mode. It's not the only ending, but this is our ending for right now. The only thing that we can do is leave the party.
This concludes mode.
And we get told goodbye by the computer lady before the credits roll. So yes, the endings can be very different, depending on what your choices are, depending on what you want to do. We still don't know what Vito's final performance was, because we missed it entirely, but like I said, we can affect what actually happens in the end. It's like the fortune teller told us, we are something like a god, and we do affect the people around us, if we choose to. It's just that this time around, we chose to spend the end of the party backstage with the storyteller. And so we affected nothing. Doesn't have to be that way. But like I said, this is just one story, and this will not be the only one. Because since now this story is over, it's going to be time for another stream. Where another chat room full of people will control the party crasher as we try to get to a different ending, try to form different relationships, and see what else we can do. And then we just get booted back out to Windows. Alright, so when it comes time for the next stream, there are probably some things we should think about. One is we got a dome late in the game. We probably should try to get one earlier and see how that might affect things. Because we know now who we can get it from. So we probably should try to get it as early as we can. We probably should also try to talk to Vito about his cult, see what we can find out for charity. But in order to do that, it would mean that we would have to avoid going to the sauna with Mia, because doing that guarantees that Vito is going to try to throw us out. We might also want to try to speak to David Hasselhoff again and see if we can get off on a friendlier foot. He does have a lot more to him than we actually saw this time around, where we made him very angry at us. Doesn't have to be that way. Things can go very differently. We might want to try talking to Ed more, since he's the tech guy and he knows exactly what the domes do and how they work. We might want to try to get an in with him and see if we can learn any important information on that subject from him. So just off the top of my head, these are a few things that we might want to think about when it comes time for the next stream, and it comes time for another party crasher to attend the mode event. So the next time we see each other, it'll be time to start the party all over again and see what outcome we get this time. See you then.